Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pomike Apabli, and God richly bless you for taking our time today to listen to my story again. I remember standing at the airport in Accra, my entire life packed in two bags, about $100 to my name and a one-way ticket to a country where I knew almost nobody. I wasn't scared. I was terrified, not because of the flight, but because I genuinely did not know if I could make it work. And the honest answer is I almost did. This is the story of what actually happened when I moved countries with almost no money. Not the highlight reel, the whole thing. I grew up in Ghana, and before you picture what you think Ghana looks like, yes, we have cities. Yes, we have smartphones. Yes, we have hustle. But we also have power cuts that last for hours. We have an economy where energy costs more for the poorest people than it does in America. And we have a gap between what's possible and what's accessible that I felt every single day. So when I was 15, I built a solar collector out of parts that I found to power the lights in my community center so students could study at night. Nobody paid me to do that. No grants, no startup fund, no mentor with connections. Just a problem I could see and a stubborn need to fix it. That's what and how I've operated my whole life. And that instinct is what eventually carried me to America. I got into Colorado College on a scholarship. That scholarship covered tuition. It did not cover everything else. So I landed in Colorado Springs with a scholarship, two bags, and the kind of broke that makes you do the math on everything. A coffee? Let me think about that. A test book? Is there a PDF somewhere? A networking event with $10 entry fee? I will pass. I tutored students. I worked in an IT lab. I stretched every dollar the way my mother taught me to stretch a CD. And the whole time, I was also building Caddy Energy, a company to bring affordable energy storage to my home country, Ghana. See, running a startup from a college dorm room with almost no money, because that's what I knew how to do. Now, here is what nobody tells you about moving countries. The money stuff is hard, but it's the stuff you didn't put a number on that will break you. It's calling your mom at 11 p.m. her time because you need to hear her voice, and doing the calculation in your head about whether this call costs too much. It's watching your classmates go to home for spring break and knowing you can't afford the flight. It's being in rooms where everyone has a network and you have a name nobody can pronounce yet, and having to build trust from scratch every single time. And here's the financial cost nobody talks about either. When you move countries, you start at zero in a system built for people who started with something. No credit score, no credit history, no one to co-sign for you. You can work full time, do everything right, and still get denied for a basic credit card because the algorithm doesn't see you yet. That experience right there is part of why I eventually built Kivo Wallet. And that's a story for another video. There was a moment in second year at Colorado College where I almost went home. Not because I wanted to quit, but because I genuinely didn't know if staying made sense. I was exhausted, I was broke, and Caddy Energy just hit a wall. And I remember sitting with that feeling for a few days. And then I thought about the solar collector. I was 15, I had no money, no materials, and no blueprints. And I still figured it out. So I made a decision. I'm going to treat this the same way, not as a disadvantage, as a constraint that forces creativity. Caddy Energy went on to win multiple pitch competitions. I went on to go to Stanford MBA. I interned at Google, at Logitech. I kept building company after company, problem after problem. None of it with much money, all of it with intention. So here's what I want to leave you with. Moving countries is an act of belief. You're betting on yourself in the highest stakes way possible. In a place where no one knows your name yet, with resources that don't even match your ambition. But that gap where you are and where you're trying to go, that gap is not a bug in your story. That gap is the story. Every person watching this who is figuring out in a new place or building something with almost nothing or wondering if they're crazy for even trying. You are not crazy. And if this resonated, drop a comment and tell me where you're building from. What country, what city, what situation. I want to know who is in the comments. Next video, I started a company at 20 with almost no money. The real story of Caddy Energy. What worked, what didn't, and what it actually cost. I will see you there.